Once upon a time, nestled in the rolling hills of a peaceful valley, there lived 3 billy goats. They were brothers, small, middle, and big, and together they were known as the Billy Goats Gruff. Now, life in the valley had always been good. There was fresh air, cool streams, and plenty of grass to eat. But over time, the grass on their side of the valley had been eaten down to the roots. There were only dry patches left, and the goats were growing hungry. But across the river was a sight to behold. A meadow so green, so full of fresh, delicious, juicy grass that it looked like an endless feast. And the goats could almost taste it just by looking at it. But there was a problem. A bridge stood between them and that perfect meadow, and under that bridge lived a creature that all the animals feared, the troll. He was large and ugly, and he had warty green skin and eyes that glowed in the dark like 2 burning embers. His teeth were yellow and jagged, and his breath smelled like old fish, and worst of all, he was always hungry. And it was said that no creature ever crossed his bridge and lived to tell the tale. But the Billy Goats Gruff had no choice. They had to eat, or they would grow weak. So one morning, as the sun rose over the hills, the smallest goat puffed out his chest and said, "I'll go first." His brothers hesitated. "Are you sure?" asked the middle goat. "You're the smallest," said the biggest goat. "What if the troll catches you?" But the little goat was clever. "I'll be quick," he said. "And besides, if the troll tries to eat me, I'll tell him to wait for my bigger brother. He'd much rather eat a fat goat than a skinny one, wouldn't he?" His brothers nodded. It was risky, but it was a good plan, and so off he went. And so the little goat stepped onto the wooden bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap. His tiny hoofs made a light, rhythmic sound as he walked carefully across. Suddenly, "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" The voice was like thunder rumbling through the valley. The little goat's heart pounded as he saw 2 enormous glowing eyes appear beneath the bridge. Then, with a great heave, the troll pulled himself up. He was even uglier than the stories had said. Warts were all over his face and skin, and long twisted claws scraped the wood as he stepped forward. "I smell a goat," he growled, licking his lips, "and I'm going to eat you." The little goat trembled, but stood his ground. "Oh, no. You don't want to eat me. I'm just a tiny snack. My brother is much bigger and juicier than I am. If you let me pass, he'll be here soon, and you can eat him instead." And the troll was a really greedy troll, so he thought the idea of a bigger meal was great. "Very well," he grunted, "but if you trick me, I'll find you and I'll gobble you up." And with that, he let the little goat go. A short while later, the middle-sized Billy Goat Gruff approached the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap. His hooves made a louder sound on the wooden planks. Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge? The troll was waiting. He leapt up with a snarl, his claws gripping the railings, his eyes burning with hunger. Aha! Another goat! You won't fool me this time. I'm going to eat you. But the middle goat was quick-witted. Oh, but wait, he said. I'm only half as big as my brother. He's the biggest, fattest, juiciest goat in the whole valley. Why settle for me when you can have a real feast? The troll, drooling at the thought, paused. Bigger, you say? Much bigger, the goat assured him. Just wait a little longer and you'll have the best meal of your life. The troll, as greedy as ever, decided to wait. Fine, you can cross the bridge then, he grumbled, and so the middle goat trotted safely to the other side. Then came the biggest Billy Goat Gruff. Trip, trap, trip, trap. His hooves were heavy, shaking the bridge with every step, and before he even reached the middle of the bridge, who's that trip-trapping over my bridge? The troll's voice was deafening. He leapt onto the bridge, his huge arms spread wide. I've let the first two go, but I won't be fooled again. I'm going to eat you. But the big goat was not afraid, and he stared at the troll with his strong, fearless eyes and lowered his mighty horns. Try it, he said, if you dare. The troll roared and lunged, but the big Billy Goat Gruff was faster. He charged forward, his powerful horns crashing into the troll's chest. The bridge trembled, the troll wobbled, arms flailing, and then a big splash. Down, down, down he fell into the raging river below. The current was strong and the troll was swept away, never to be seen again. And with the troll gone, the three Billy Goats Gruff were free to cross the bridge whenever they pleased. They made their way into the lush, green meadow and ate until their heart's content. And from that day forward, they lived happily in the valley, never worrying about trolls again. And as for the bridge, well, it remained standing, but the legend of the troll under the bridge lived on, whispered among the animals who still crossed it carefully, just in case. The end.